your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Over 30% of adults struggle with chronic foot and joint pain, and many face mobility limitations as they age. But a revolutionary Comfort First slipper has taken the wellness world by storm. Try Cloud Slides and feel you are walking on the clouds. Cloud Slides.
Welcome on in, Friday edition of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stuart. It's on Rogue Media Network every weekday, live at high noon Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Zach Burke is behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week. Your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio right here on the Wicked Boston Show. Today, we're getting you ready for Patriots Bengals and why this matchup has become a lot more interesting. It looks like Joe Burrow is going to play, and that makes a humongous difference. Nay, maybe all the difference in the world. Does this be a legitimate threat for the Patriots this weekend with Joe Shiesty back in the lineup? Plus, there's a guy on the other side of the ball for the Patriots that is really the secret reason why they are AFC contenders right now. Just like Drake May has done on the offense, this guy has completely elevated the defense, and not enough people are talking about him yet. He's the best kept secret in the NFL. And speaking of best kept secrets, how about the worst kept secrets? Bill Simmons is being dragged through the coals by insecure hockey fans for saying that the Columbus Blue Jackets are the most irrelevant franchise in sports. Myself and Zach Burke are going to go through our nominations for the most irrelevant franchise in sports and see if Bill might actually be right after all. All that and more coming up on this episode of The Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. We start where we start. It's in the thumbnail. It's why you're here today. It is why you are getting excited for this weekend. The talk around Boston today, the Patriots, Bengals, Sunday afternoon. Is Joe Burrow actually going to play in this game? That would make a bit of a difference, wouldn't it? The Bengals are 3-7. They statistically have the worst defense in the entire NFL this year, and their best receiver is suspended for this game against the Pats. But they might just have Joe Burrow, and that changes everything. Joe Shiesty, he's been a full participant in practice the last 2 days. So I ask, why would your starting quarterback be out there 2 days in a row and not play? There's still nothing confirmed that Burrow is going to play on Sunday. But if he's out there practicing and the guy who's starting in his place is not practicing, has been dealing with an injury the last few weeks in Joe Flacco, why wouldn't he play? And when you talk about the importance of this game for the Bengals, there's really no reason why he shouldn't be out there if he is practicing. And I know they got a short week coming up. They play Baltimore on Thanksgiving. I think he's out there, because the Bengals need him out there. They need this game. There's actually kind of a wild puncher's chance that they could sneak back into the AFC playoff picture if they win the next 2 games. Even though they suck, Joe Burrow gives them a chance that obviously nobody else gives them. The Patriots are one of the best teams in football, and in theory, they should really cruise past Cincinnati. I don't care if it's in Foxborough. I don't care if it's in Cincinnati. I don't care if it's on the moon. Like, on paper, the way these teams have played the last couple of weeks, especially, like, this should be an easy Patriots victory. That Bengals defense is awful. Awful. Second fewest sacks in the league this year. 29th in passer rating against. They wake up, they put their pads on Sunday, and they give up 30 points. That's just what they do. Week in, week out, clock in, 30 points allowed, clock out. Go on to the next week. Listen while their fans try to get out of their season tickets, and the season ticket member service reps accost them for how dare they not want to watch this 3-7 team. They've given up 30 or more 6 times in 10 games, including 4 in a row. And look, yeah, some of that has been against some good competition, right? Some of that's been against Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff. In fact, they even held Jordan Love under 30 points. But they also gave up 48 to J.J. McCarthy and 39 to Justin Fields. That should be physically impossible. You know, we saw the Patriots play an okay game against Justin Fields last week, kind of lackluster, short week, and they only gave up 14. The Bengals gave up 39 and lost. Joe Burrow, this guy, Joe Burrow makes all the difference. Even if Jamar Chase isn't out there, Joe Burrow makes all the difference. Because when he's out there, when number 9 is taking the field for the Bengals, he is no doubt a top 5 quarterback in the league. No doubt. And one of the most feared in all of football. They've won 3 games this year, and yet Burrow is 2-0. They do the simple math here. 1-7 when he's not under center for him. Does that sound like it makes a difference? I'd say. Last year, he was healthy for the whole season. He's kind of actually coming back from an injury, the wrist injury, which might have cost them the week 1 game against the Patriots. But last year, he plays all 17 games. And all he does is lead the league in yards per game, touchdowns, and passing yards. 3 fairly significant passing categories, if you ask me. Jamar Chase wins the wide receiver triple crown when Joe Burrow's his quarterback. He literally has the highest career completion percentage of any quarterback of all time. And I know we're far from the end of Joe Burrow's career, right? But that's crazy. And personally, I hope he is out there. I think that makes this a legit challenge for the Patriots if Joe Burrow's out there. And it's not even close to replicating it if he's not. It becomes a test, another test for New England, whether Cam Newton thinks so or not. Okay? Because then you're talking about a matchup between 2 top 5 quarterbacks in the league. And in the Patriots' case, on the road. In a game where the Bengals have to treat it like a playoff game. They have to. And suddenly, you've got this rejuvenated fan base, a lethal kind of quarterback with something to prove. That's a different kind of ball game versus the way we're looking at it if Joe Flunco's the quarterback. Elephant in the room, though. Let's bring it back up. Joe Burrow doesn't play defense. He greatly improved Cincinnati's chances of winning this game, but he can't hide the fact that the Bengals have the worst defense in all of football, and that just seems to get worse by the week. How about this for a stat? They've missed 3 times as many tackles as the Patriots have this year. And the Patriots have played more games. They've played 1 more game than Cincinnati. And they have a third of the missed tackles they have. I fully expect Drake May to just eat this defense alive on Sunday. Just eat them for breakfast and lunch. The teams that the Patriots have played this year that have had defenses close to Cincinnati, right? Like the teams that they've played whom allow a higher completion percentage than the Bengals are the Dolphins, the Titans, and the Saints. Patriots, of course, won all 3 of those games. And in those 3 matchups, Drake May threw for 713 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And in that game against Tennessee, he completed 91% of his passes. There is no reason to believe that this will be any different this week, whether Joe Burrow's out there or not. If Burrow's out there, it makes it a completely different game, right? Patriots need to score more. It becomes a bit of a shootout potentially because I do rate Joe Burrow that highly. I do. But it's not crazy at all to think the Patriots are going to score 35 on Sunday. In fact, I'd argue that should be the expectation for them to score 35. And if you win at 35-31 because Burrow goes off, who cares? The win's a win. 35-27, okay, fine. Don't care. The first take guys might care. I don't. You don't. People that actually matter talking about this league don't. This might actually be, you know what this might be? For those of you going over to DraftKings to put your props in for this weekend, this might be your first Drake May 300-yard game. Solely based on how poorly the Bengals tackle. I can't believe it. This Al Golden out there coaching the defense, man. It's like the end of his time at Miami. Oh, it was bad. But if Joe Burrow is healthy and out there, I'll say this. I think Burrow would be the most feared quarterback Drake May has faced. That includes Josh Allen. That very much includes him. Josh Allen's great. But like you're talking about a guy in Joe Burrow whom has played in a Super Bowl, basically willed a team to the Super Bowl, and was one play away essentially from beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead in back-to-back AFC Championship games. Like that's crazy. And I know we can't change what happened. He went 1-1. But he did win an AFC Championship game there against Patrick Mahomes. The only other guy to do that's Tom Brady. So I would say he's the most dangerous quarterback the Patriots have faced this year in terms of how he can elevate a team. And certainly, I don't think it's that crazy to say after what we saw from Josh Allen last night against Houston and the fact that he's lost to the Texans, the Dolphins, and the Falcons in the last 3 weeks. The Bengals suck, but Joe Burrow's not doing that. It's a different team when he's out there. And all of a sudden, that becomes a really interesting game in the AFC playoff picture if Burrow's out there. But I mean, again, come on. How is he not out there if he's competing in practice? I don't get it, man. And I know that's more to get him in a rhythm so that he's not throwing to slapdicks and quality control coaches and stuff like that. But if he's practicing 2 straight days, and he is the difference in the football team, I have to imagine he's playing on Sunday. Their season is on the line. Now, if they lose, I've seen a lot of this week. If he plays and they lose, they probably shut him down. They're probably just totally out of the playoff picture entirely at 3-8. But if they win, they're sneaky got a puncher's chance. What do you think? Do you want Joe Burrow playing in this game? And what does it mean for the line if he does? It's already moved up a point today. What does it mean for this game and the outlook if Joe Burrow is out there on the field against the Patriots? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you live on YouTube every weekday, noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio, right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. When we come back, we are going to talk about the guys that we haven't talked about enough for this Patriots team. The unsung hero, the best kept secret in the NFL. We'll tell you who it is next on the Wicked Boston Show. Do you know about the 3 T's of Thanksgiving? Turkey for eating, table for gathering, and touchdowns for winning. With DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in before dessert. And with DraftKings Sportsbook, all the action's in your hands. First touchdown, anytime TD, live bets. Every play, every snap, every game counts. Big plays, bold calls, and bragging rights. When the games get good, the bets get better. Here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. When touchdowns happen, we feast. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code CAMSHOW. That's code CAMSHOW. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 8887-897777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio limited time offer.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
OsleyMD.com.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Your host, Cam Stewart, Zach Burke behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week, live on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Getting you ready for Patriots Bengals this Sunday, which becomes a sneaky good matchup if Joe Burrow is in there. It becomes a sneaky test for the Patriots. Not enough for, ESPN to recognize that they're playing an NFL schedule, of course, but a sneaky good test for two teams, obviously, vying in the AFC. One is vying for the number one seed. One is vying to stay in the playoff picture. So to me, that becomes very interesting. But let's take a look at one of the guys we haven't talked about enough for this Patriots team. Look, Drake May is the biggest reason the Patriots are exciting. He's the biggest reason why the Patriots have a bright future. He's the biggest reason why they're better than last year. No doubt. But the biggest reason why the Patriots continue to win and why they're legit AFC contenders has more to do with their defense. Because, if Drake May was putting up these kind of numbers and they didn't have a defense, they'd be the Bengals. But those two things together make them legitimate contenders. The number one rush defense in football, we all know that. But what we aren't seeing is how good their pass defense has been the last 6 weeks. Since week 5, the Patriots have the highest coverage grade in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. They are second in yards per reception allowed, and they are 5th in open target percentage, which means nobody's getting open against them. That's all since week 5. Week 5, huh? I wonder what happened in week 5. Oh, yeah. Week 5 is when Christian Gonzalez returned to the lineup. The Patriots have gone from a meh pass defense to one that is putting up elite numbers around the NFL. Downright elite because of Christian Gonzalez, Agent Zero. Making y'all patient zero, whatever that means. To me, he is the best kept secret in the NFL. Yes, Christian Gonzalez is the best kept secret in the NFL. But Cam, he made the All-Pro team last year. How can he be a secret? I know. And they were right to do that. But let me ask you this. When you watch the Patriots previews every week, when you read the game report, when you watch the videos, read the biggest keys to victory and all that stuff, how often do they talk about Christian Gonzalez? Is anyone talking about Christian Gonzalez? No. They're talking about Drake May. They're talking about Stephon Diggs. They're talking about Mike Vrabel. They're talking about Josh McDaniels. Long before they're talking about Christian Gonzalez. That's who they're not talking about. And we knew Gonzo was good last year. Totally deserving of the All-Pro nod. But this year, it's different. What we are seeing now is that Christian Gonzalez isn't just a good player who can play out on an island. We knew that. But what we can see now is that Gonzalez makes a good defense great. Before he got back on the field this year, the Pats were just middle of the road. To use a Cam Newton term, middle of the mall kind of pass defense. Geno Smith had his best game of the season against them. They were fine. They weren't abysmal by any stretch, but they weren't that good. In fact, they gave up, 7 explosive plays to the Raiders. Come on. And it's still not perfect. But right now, they're one of the best defenses in all of football. Obviously against the run, but against the pass as well. And I do need to stress, it's still not perfect. Quarterbacks going against the Patriots have all damn day to throw against them. No pass rush at all. That was their biggest need at the trade deadline. They subtracted pass rush instead of adding it. Teams like that rarely, if ever, have good pass defenses. That's just way too long to be out in coverage in this league. Way too long. But Christian Gonzalez is leading a group that is just defying that. This game on Sunday will be a big test for the Patriots, for this defense, for Christian Gonzalez, if Joe Burrow is playing. Big test. But he's done this before. He's shut down guys before. We saw it all last season. And now that the Patriots are good, we should be talking about the corner more. Drake May is the best player on the team. Christian Gonzalez is the second best player on the team. With all due respect to Stephon Diggs and Milton Williams and whomever else you want to highlight. Will Campbell's having a good rookie year. Carlton Davis, whomever you want to say out there. But if you're ranking the best players on this team, the best football players, Drake May is number 1. Christian Gonzalez is number 2. And he's right there with the best corners in the league, as evidenced by the All-Pro nod last year. And yet, who's talking about him? Are the Christian Gonzalez jerseys sold out? Why not, man? He's a great player with a sick number. If you can call it a number. He had a better year than Sauce Gardner did last year. And he didn't get traded at the trade deadline like Sauce Gardner did. So he is going to demand some Sauce Gardner money. I did a segment a few weeks ago about how it's going to be time to pay Christian Gonzalez here. And I just wonder if the Patriots are apprehensive because of the fact that he's had an injury every year. I'm not saying that's the right call, but is that the case? I do want to hear from you guys on that. But I want to finish by saying this. Like most great teams ever, those Patriots championship teams, they all had elite, all-pro, Hall of Fame caliber cornerbacks. It was Ty Law, then it was Darrelle Revis, then it was Stephon Gilmore. Hell, let's throw Logan Ryan in there for good measure. Throw him a bone. It's not crazy at all to say that Christian Gonzalez is the next in line, the next in that lineage. The last first-round pick Bill Belichick ever made is a home run so far. Like, he's just knocking balls out of the park. Batting practice is awesome to watch. It's theater. That's how good a pick it's been so far. It is not crazy to think that he's next in that line. I'm not even saying he needs to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if Stephon Gilmore is a Hall of Famer. I think he's pretty damn close. He's an awesome player. But Christian Gonzalez is very much the next in line. And if you lock up at some point in the next, obviously, 2 years, Drake May and Christian Gonzalez, the long-term deals, I think you have great building blocks for a successful franchise going forward. There are other holes? Sure there are. But May, Gonzalez, Milton Williams, locked down at good market value. It's a hell of a start for the Patriots. Hell of a start. So what do you think? Is Christian Gonzalez the best kept secret in the NFL? Does he deserve that Sauce Gardner kind of contract? Is he the next in line? Law, Revis, Gilmore, Gonzo? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you live every weekday, noon Eastern time, and then we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well. It is your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio. It's right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. When we come back, let's talk about irrelevance, shall we? Bill Simmons is being dragged for his take that the Columbus Blue Jackets are the most irrelevant team in sports. So myself and Zach Burke, we're putting our thinking caps on. If it's not the Blue Jackets, then who is the most irrelevant team in pro sports? We'll tell you next on the Wicked Boston Show.
Conference titles, playoff hopes, everything's on the line. A single loss can end it all. No one gets you closer to the college football action than DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code CAMSHOW, that's code CAMSHOW, to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-878-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio limited time offer.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US. Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stuart, your host, Zach Burke, behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Let's take Zach into the fray here, if we could, because this is an interactive discussion that we're about to have. Zach, first off, you big Stone Roses guy? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, I like them.
The bassist died yesterday.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's too bad, man. They fucking rock. So now I'm seeing no good part about this, but I'm seeing a ton of Stone Roses on my timeline today, and that's a little bit more refreshing. I love some old Stone Roses stuff. What a freaking great band that never quite cracked the U.S. and didn't really care that they didn't. So all-time great band. If you haven't listened to Stone Roses, go listen to some Stone Roses. So, Zach, I wanted to bring you on here because there's all kinds of controversy in the sports world this week because Bill Simmons did a segment on his podcast where he talked about the most irrelevant team in sports, most relevant franchise in sports. Mm-hmm. And what he did was he did like a call out for listeners to send in their submissions. And he went by a ton of different criteria, biggest accomplishments, best player, weirdest thing that's happened, all that kind of stuff. And so he reads one from the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I played it during the break so I could listen and Mike could hear it too. It is.
And I thought he put up a pretty good case.
Yeah.
For why it's the Columbus Blue Jackets. And when I tell you, man, hockey Twitter lost their fucking mind when this one
Why?
happened. Because they're so sensitive, man.
Oh, okay.
They're just too damn sensitive. I love the NHL way more than the NBA, and I hate like NBA kind of gotcha culture. But I will say this: if that was said about an NBA team, it would just be 29 other fan bases dunking on them. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, look at these losers. Look at this poverty ass franchise. But with the NHL, they're like, no, the Blue Jackets are relevant. In fact, I saw someone tweet, and I just couldn't help myself. I think she's sports talk in Ohio and was like, look, I'm not a Blue Jackets fan, but I'm a Blue Jackets defender. If this is really your take, you just don't watch hockey. And I'm like, first off, that's probably part of it, is that not a lot of people watch hockey in this country, right? Like that's kind of hand in hand with this. And second off, like, okay, what is the best you can put the Blue Jackets? Like 29th out of 32 teams in terms of any relevance at all? I said they're comfortably in the top 40 most popular pro hockey teams. Comfortably. Like the Marlies, the AHL team for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Probably more relevant in some years than the Blue Jackets. So they're losing their minds over this sack. I can't believe it.
And I don't get it either. I will say though, there are only I think I looked a little bit too, and following the end of last year, there are only 3 teams to have never reached a conference finals, and they're one of them. And the other 2 are, well, one is
don't tell me. There's 2 more. One of them is the Seattle Kraken, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other is never made a conference.
So here's
the Minnesota Wild.
No, this is
what they made the conference finals that year. Damn.
Yeah, this is where. Well, I think it is. This is where it gets tricky. Right. They have the Utah Hockey Club listed.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't make it as Winnipeg. They did make it as Phoenix, Arizona.
They did. They did. Yeah. 2012. Yes, they made the conference finals. They lost to the Kings in 5 games or 4 games. Dustin Penner, I believe, scored the overtime winner to send the Kings to the Stanley Cup final.
But given that they're a brand new team now, the Utah Mammoth, that's who the Blue Jackets are with the Kraken and the Mammoth, not reaching.
I guess that kind of feels like cheating, but I don't mind separating teams' histories from each other. Like as we've talked about before, like I don't want Utah claiming that. So not that they would really want to either. So so this opens up the discussion.
Okay.
What are the most irrelevant franchises in sports? I decided that we'll look at this through the lens of picking one from each of the 4 major and kind of discussing it from there.
Okay.
So why don't we start with the NFL?
Okay.
Because this is difficult in its own way because the NFL is the most relevant sports thing there is in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's in a way, I want to pick the Jets. The Jets are the only team that doesn't own a metro area. And they don't have a state where, or a metro or a state that they are the primary team. Not even in New Jersey where they play. It's New York City and New Jersey are both Giants dominant.
Yeah, and I think the more north you go, it's more Bills. So,
and yes, right, correct. And the other thing too with the Jets is they are relevant, like by sucking so much, like by sucking forever. It's like it's like I saw people arguing for the hockey thing that it should be the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm like, well, no, because we all know that they haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. Like that's almost impossible drought for a team or a league where half the teams in the league make the playoffs. Like that, it's the same thing with the Jets. They haven't made the playoffs since 2010.
So does them being bad like kind of prevent? Well, okay, is it the comical amount of bad that they are leads them to be more relevant?
Yes.
Okay.
And part of the thing that I hate about this, but it's true, they are the New York Jets. They're not the Memphis Jets. They're the New York Jets. Okay. So that is part of it. And there's things that about the Jets, the JETS, the fireman ed, the booing the draft picks, the fact that they can't develop a quarterback, the butt fumble. Like you've seen the Jets. You see the Jets all over the place. So the NFL, I went with actually a very old team, but has so many decades of complete irrelevance that I have to go with the Arizona Cardinals.
Let me get calories.
Your first reaction.
Yeah. I think funny enough, that an argument could maybe be made for my team in a way, the Houston Texans, but I do think it's just
that would probably be right up there. Yeah.
They're still relatively young in the scheme of things.
But here's where I say what the separation would be.
Yes.
Who's the greatest Cardinals player of all time?
Yeah.
It's Larry Fitzgerald.
That it is. I was trying to think older than that, and I feel like I'm missing somebody. But yeah, it's got to be.
The Cardinals have been around for 100 years, by the way.
Yeah,
they played in 3 different cities. And what was always the thing you said about Larry Fitzgerald? He's the most underrated player in football.
Yep.
Like all the time. Most underrated receiver, most underrated playmaker, whatever you wanted to say. Because then when you look after that, it's Pat Tillman.
Yeah, I found
famous.
a list. They have Larry
I mean?
Wilson on the Sports Illustrated list I have has Larry Wilson
really
second,
good.
Dan Deerdorf third.
Deerdorf played for a long time. You know him more as a broadcaster than you do as a football player.
Charlie Trippy fourth.
Yeah, I mean, like, where are we going?
Arenas Williams is fifth on the Cardinals all-time list.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and like they've had some good players, and Jack Youngblood. Jake Plummer was a decent quarterback.
I think Night Train Lane played there for a bit.
Did he? He made his bones with the Lions, but
for sure. But I think he had a bit with the Cardinals. But
and so like, I am like a quasi historian, man. Like I've seen I'm such a history nerd when it comes to sports. I couldn't tell you anything about the Cardinals in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. The only thing I can tell you about it in the 90s is that they were part of a movie. Like that is it. And so maybe they were relevant for a night or two because of Jerry Maguire. But it's because they were the only ones who would do it. They were the only ones who were like, yeah, you can film on our field during a game. Why not?
I'm pretty sure Steve Berline might have started one game in the 90s. That's about all I remember about him too. But
family friend of my future in-laws, by the way.
Oh,
Berline. So there's every other team, maybe the Texans not because they're younger, but JJ Watt's a pretty good all-time best player.
Andre Johnson might
have
be
a
as
team
good
that's
as
been
Larry
around for
Fitzgerald, too.
this long and has a big enough metro. It's not a sports town. They just hold no relevance in my eyes. Made one Super Bowl. It was a fantastic story. The whole nation was rooting for them and they almost won it. But other than that one year, to me, they have nothing.
I just want to add this one little quick thing about maybe Arizona as a whole. Is it more than just the Cardinals? Like I'm trying to think of all the other sports. Is it a state / like metro area? Because everybody thought, oh, the Suns are going to be that. I mean, you have a couple of years of Barkley. Like Alvin Adams isn't necessarily something you're going to write home about. No, I'm not disrespect, but you know what I mean. Like
no, I know
they're not.
They made the finals
twice maybe.
They made one in the
Maybe
70s. They made one recently. Yeah. Did they play the Bulls one year? I don't think they did.
But maybe a discussion for another time is what I just thought about. Maybe it's Arizona as a whole when it comes to.
It's a good point, man. And it's not a good sports town, probably because of that. You also have a bunch of people that don't live there year round. You have a lot of people that are from other places. So whenever the Cardinals are facing, the Cowboys or the Raiders or the Chargers or whomever, there's a bunch of the opposing team fans, the Broncos. They're far away from everything. So they don't have good traditional rivals or anything like that, the way Boston and New York does, New York and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, Detroit and Chicago. They don't have that. So, I would say that's a good discussion to have at some point of like, what's the most relevant sports city?
I do wonder if that kind of leads into the franchises ending up how they are too. So.
Yeah. Basketball, I almost have a tie here. Okay. I've got 2 different reasons why. The name that kept popping into my head is the Sacramento Kings.
I think that's who it is.
Okay. I'm going to put an argument for another team in a second, but
I watched Zach Lowe crash out this week on calling them just the absolute worst disaster in the West. And I don't think he's wrong. And I know that that's just talking about this year's team, but it's something that's synonymous with the Kings in general. Like the only time I can remember a time where they were relevant and, was very early on in the 2000s where they had that finals Game 7, which they'll still argue. That's the thing. They'll still argue that the refs called it for the Lakers because they wanted the Lakers in there, not the Kings. If that's what you're resting your hat on is one season still, that should just show you how the rest of the time went. But
it's 25 years ago too.
Exactly. Those early 2000s Kings teams were good. Weber, Peja, I enjoyed those teams, but Bibby, I think Brad Miller might've been the center, but they haven't done jack shit since. like even close to it.
Except avoid being moved like 3 times.
That's true.
Which is damning, right? And so here's the Kings bring up an interesting argument when we talk about irrelevance, because I saw this a lot with the Blue Jackets people. And the Blue Jackets people were saying, man, this is a diehard fan base. And that's probably right. The Blue Jackets have a small fan base, but it is diehard. The Kings have diehards.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I work for the Locked On Podcast Network too. The Kings show does gangbusters, man. But that isn't really what we're talking about here. And so that's why I'm kind of in the mindset of like, you don't have to be like, I get it. Like if you're a fan of a team and they say, someone says it's the most irrelevant sports, you're going to get a little offended, but it's really not like a knock on you in any way.
No.
They're not even just saying you suck, but like the Kings, man, like, and Domantas Sabonis has been great, has had a pretty damn good career, Hall of Fame kind of career, really has. But all that you hear about him is kind of like Larry Fitzgerald of like, man, would be really nice to see him playing for a contender. Or like everyone's sleeping on Domantas Sabonis. Or when they did that NBA show on Netflix, finally, we're going to get to see this guy and hear from him. And oh yeah, his wife loves it that they never play on Christmas Day. So they definitely deserve recognition there. Now, this is the only one I kind of picked too, Zach. So you gotta stick with me. I know it's a little bit of cheating here. But the name that popped into my head, I was thinking about these last night, but the name that popped into my head this morning that I was like, man, it's tough to argue against that is, drum roll, please, the Charlotte Hornets. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
When we're talking about relevance, we're not just talking about performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Kings have made a conference finals. The Charlotte Hornets have not. And they haven't been really close ever. And whether you're looking at the original Hornets or the Bobcats or these Hornets, they have always sucked. Always. Always. But we're looking at more than that. We're looking at relevance. We're looking at conversation. And you talked about the Kings one. Like the Kings having that legitimate conspiracy theory of being kept out of the NBA Finals, it doesn't make you not the most irrelevant team in the NBA. But it is an interesting kind of claim to fame. You know, it kind of is. And the Hornets do have an interesting pop culture claim to fame because I'll bet you do remember some of this. In the early to mid 90s, every block there was a kid with a Charlotte Hornets jacket or a Charlotte Hornets hat or a t-shirt. The colors were new. It was a great logo. The starter jackets just took off. You saw rappers wearing Charlotte Hornets starter jackets all the time. Now, if that's the only thing you've got, then you're really, swimming upstream. But it is interesting to note that because of just I guess like NBA culture in general and how the NBA is viewed as a cool thing, that those two teams do have something legitimate. But the Hornets, man, they have just nothing. And the only reason I think I didn't give it to Charlotte is that state is basketball crazed. It really is. The way the Pacers could never be totally irrelevant, you know what I mean? That the entire region has an interest in them because it's a great basketball state. California is obviously got plenty of NBA fans, but Sacramento is a teeny tiny little market in the middle of California. So sorry, I haven't left you any time to a little bit.
I was just going to add one quick thing. Excuse me, about basketball. Funny enough, the other team in that picture with the Hornets, these are just quick comments. Could also be up for
I thought about that too.
Magic. Yep. I think that they're pretty irrelevant, but another team that I think either needs to move, needs to figure out what they're doing. It's the Washington Wizards. That is a team that is just god awful year in and year out and hasn't been relevant since they were the Bulls.
You know what?
Maybe before that.
You know what? The Washington Wizards are the pick.
I think again,
the Washington Wizards are the pick. You make a great point. They're the pick.
What have they?
They might be so irrelevant that I didn't even think of them.
Exactly. What have they done since drafting Juwan Howard and Chris Webber? Like honestly, as a franchise,
and that failed.
Nothing.
And that failed. Right? The Bullets won a title 45 years ago, but it's not a great sports town. It's not a good basketball town, and I would argue they have the worst branding in all of sports.
The new look, yes. They also have the worst
look
winning
is
percentage
terrible.
since the year 2000.
The name is terrible. They have nobody famous since Wes Unseld 40, 50 years ago.
Who was a beast, by the way, but
The best one is Gilbert Arenas or the failed comeback attempt of Michael Jordan. They have the biggest draft bust of all time, probably, in Kwame. The Wizards are the pick. The Wizards are the pick. Zach Burke from the rafters. The Wizards are the pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to go hockey real quick because I agree with Bill. It is the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I'm with you there
It just
too.
is.
I'm now more into figuring out this whole what happened with Mike Babcock and the players' phones more than anything.
Yes. So I'll give you the quick Spark Notes version. So Mike Babcock's an absolute dick. He won a cup with the Red Wings and everyone thought he was great, but he's actually an asshole. And when he became the Blue Jackets coach, he did like these one-on-one meetings with these guys, and he asked for their phones like in front of them, and he would scroll through their camera reel, like I guess to just see if they were up to no good, which even then is insane. Like these are grown fucking men. Not that you should be doing that as like a high school coach or anything.
Yeah.
Like that's an insane invasion of privacy. And then he would use it against them when he was bitching them out in practice. But yeah, the Blue Jackets, I'm sorry, man. Like they do have diehard fans, but they're probably the only market in the NHL where the fans care more about the MLS team than they do about them. And which is crazy damning. And they have a monster of a college football program in the same town. Like they will never, they could win 4 straight Stanley Cups. They would never touch the relevance of Ohio State football, which sometimes you do have to take that into account. How many times have you seen a Columbus Blue Jackets jersey ever? Like, I'm sorry. And I love Zach Werenski, by the way. I almost bought a Zach Werenski jersey last night to show my support. Not this one, but the Cannon one they wore last year. So I agree with Bill Simmons. Best player, Rick Nash. Made the second round one time, lost to the Bruins. That's 25 years of that. I'm sorry. Like that's it. Baseball was a very tough one, as you can imagine.
I see I'm
teams
interested in this one.
All teams but one have won the World Series. Most teams are pretty old. The team I'm going to pick is almost 60 years old. And I know probably why you're going to, or what you're going to push back with. And it's a city we've already talked about before. And I'm willing to hear that out. This is a tough pick, but mine is the Kansas City Royals. This is controversial. They won a World Series 10 years ago. They made back-to-back World Series. You see the guy in the middle there, George Brett, is one of the best hitters of all time. Like, without a doubt. Those uniforms are cool. But I think about from the 80s to the mid-2010s, was there a less relevant team than the Kansas City Royals? Was there a team that just had nothing? Like nothing. I mean, their claim to fame from that time is Bo Jackson for a couple of years, right? But that's the thing where you don't hear people talking about the Royals. Nobody's really making a pilgrimage to Kansas City to go see a game, even though it's a nice ballpark. They're just not discussed. So that's why I go with them. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I can put that back over there now. I'm thinking that, it was hard for me to argue with those points.
Like Seattle, by the way, is the team that hasn't won the World
Series.
Yeah. But I think you're a great testament to this.
They
They were cool with the 90s.
Because I can think of other teams haven't won one still. Because the other one I was going to argue about relevance.
You're right. Been to the World Series. The Padres have been, but haven't won. You're right.
And my West Coast fans can get mad at me, even though they're in the Central Time Zone. Might be the Colorado Rockies. And the only reason I'm going to argue, here's one thing that I will point out.
Okay.
That baseball venue and just having Coors Field and just having a place that does it doesn't matter who goes to play there, the altitude, it is always relevant in a way of like, oh, we're playing in Coors, like there's always that thing.
Correct. I think that's a piece of this. And they're relevant for how bad they are right now and how cheap they are.
That is true.
That's a relevant thing.
Okay.
The Royals just kind of skate by, right? They're not the Pirates. They're not the Rays. They're not the Marlins when it comes to being the cheapest, or the A's obviously would be a big one, but the A's are too old. I'm sorry. The A's if you do follow sports history, the A's have more than enough to not be the most irrelevant franchise. The Royals just kind of don't. The other team I thought about was Washington.
The Nats.
They've won a World Series recently as well. So have the Royals. But like bad branding, the Walgreens W.
Yeah.
Washington, man.
That's what it looks
Washington
like.
is the worst branded sports town in North America, and it's not even
Absolutely.
close. It's
Absolutely.
not even close. They completely fucked up the football team. Okay. The basketball team is horrible for branding. And the Capitals legitimately have the top one worst jersey in the NHL. So
There we
this
go.
was a tough pick.
Essentially, everybody in Washington just doesn't know how to wear anything. Like they do. They all look horrible. So I think that maybe Washington belongs in that discussion when we talk about Arizona too.
That was a tough pick, man. That was a tough one. If you had to pick between those, let's say 4, right? Let's keep the Kings as my pick.
Okay.
Or let's keep the Wizards as my pick
Okay.
because you opened my eyes. If you had to pick between one of those 4, who are you going with?
It's the Wizards or Blue Jackets. But I think
Which
just
is
because
crazy that the Wizards would even give them a run for their money, but I think you're right. I think they did.
It's just listening to, if you haven't listened to the Bill Simmons like talk about it, just go back and listen to that 2.5 minutes you sent me was enough to convince me of like, oh yeah, no, it's the Blue Jackets.
And he's like,
That's it, though.
there's no way that's not it. He'll give you a Wes Unseld case for the Wizards. So
Exactly. I can't argue with that. Wes Unseld was a beast. So
and like the Blue Jackets are likable. You heard it in there. Like their best player, Johnny Gaudreau, died like suddenly last year. And they almost made the playoffs. They made this great push last year, and everyone was behind him. Like that doesn't necessarily make you relevant, but they are more or less beloved. Like I think if they made a run in the playoffs, they would be the darling of the NHL. But they haven't done that ever. So. Anyway, Zach, thank you for doing that for us, for helping us out with that. I love having discussions like that.
I do too.
We're going to do a deep dive on Washington on the Wicked Boston show. Of course, we got to do that. But Zach, thank you. Thank you to all who've joined in. We will be back on Monday live on YouTube, noon Eastern time, wherever you get your podcasts as well, breaking down Patriots and Bengals. Of course, Monday morning, Mike will be here with us. But we will see you then on the Wicked Boston show with Cam Stewart.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.